Fun.
Hey there, Regina Antley here. It is time for Coffee with Regina. My guest has her coffee too. Today, I have a really interesting guest with me. Her name is Dr. Tanya English. And what she does is she inspires women to go from grief to grace and find treasure in tragedy. And, as business owners and people who are, trying to help others, a lot of times we ignore our own stuff. And we're going to talk about how bad that can be for you. So she's been working for over 35 years in healing, first as a massage therapist and then a chiropractor and energy healer. Like me, she's a quantum physics nerd. And she helps women who have experienced loss at any time in their lives that are stuck to move forward. So, welcome, Dr. Tanya.
Thank you so much for having me, Regina. And I just want to add in there, and a few men too, because men I work with.
Women and men. Yeah, you say it kind of like I say mine too. I say I help women coaches and consultants, but there's some men in there too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I know, I want you to tell our audience a little bit more about you because, how you got to do what you're doing today, because it's a very interesting story.
Well, how far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you like, but it is only
Okay.
a half an hour
Yeah,
here.
that's great. Okay. So,
Reader's Digest version.
yeah. So I was having a business as a massage therapist, and the place that I really loved to work the best was in chiropractic offices. So I thought, why don't I just go be a chiropractor? There's nothing stopping me. So I moved from the East Coast, where I grew up, to Iowa, where I had never been before, at age 30, and started chiropractic college at Palmer, the fountainhead of chiropractic. And as I was going through school, oh, well, a few months later, I met my husband, and all my plans of going to practice in Spain just kind of fell apart. And we had two little girls to take care of, his daughters from his previous marriage. And we got married and were expecting our first child. And during labor, things took a turn and he was stillborn. And it was a full term pregnancy, really great pregnancy, but this happened. And as we're sitting there looking at the ultrasound, both knowing what we're looking at, the heart that's not beating, I turned to him and I said, "Are we okay?" And he said, "Yes, we're okay." And so that helped me get through the whole process of birthing this beautiful baby.
Mm.
And while I was lying in the hospital bed, a thought came into my head. Do you really believe everything happens to the highest good, or do you just say that because it sounds great? And I went down the road in my mind of it doesn't. Everything's random. I'm a victim. And I could have checked out of my life. I was just about to graduate from chiropractic college. And I didn't like the way that looked. So I thought, okay, I'm making a decision right here and right now that I believe that everything happens to the highest good. So show me the good. Bring it on. I want to see it. And I turned to my left, and there's my husband helping me breathe because they over medicated me. And so I would exhale and then not inhale. And
Oh.
he'd say, "Take a breath, honey." And I go, "Oh, yeah, okay." And then I'd exhale for about 4 minutes. So it was one of those things where here's the love of my life helping me stay alive. On my right is my sister in love. I call her my sister in love because she was married to my brother in law. She's helping me push the baby out, holding me. And the doctor that came in to take care of us was named Dr. Mim, which was the name that my nieces and nephews gave to my mother as a grandma. So I'm like, oh, good, Dr. Grandma's here. This is good. So looking for these things that are helping me to understand that it's not all tragedy. We dedicated our baby. I had two friends come in and hold him, and it changed their whole viewpoint of what death was. And when we had to explain it to these two little girls that um, were, I think they were five and no, they were, yeah, like 7 and 8.
Mhm.
And we said, people die, and people die when they're young, and people die when they're old. People die from sickness and from accidents. And this is kind of like that. This is kind of like an accident. So it's okay. He's fine. And then we had all of these interesting things happen. And people who have been through death of a loved one always have things. If they're looking for them, they're going to find them. A blue balloon floated by the windows of our living room, not up, it floated this way. And we went out, and I just had this real feeling of calm and peace. And we went outside to see if there were any parties around, nothing going on. And I was like, oh, this is part of that. Our dog at the time went into the cradle and pulled out a little stuffed lamb and brought it over and laid it at my feet. Totally not typical of this dog. So things like that are happening are giving you comfort. It's source telling us it's okay. It's really okay. And the fact is that you can look at it a lot of different ways, but I chose not to be a victim because of it. And also because I'm in the healing mindset, I'm observing what's happening with me while it's happening. So I'm observing it and looking at it and going, what what do I need to learn from this? Because this is life and death. This is a big thing that's happening in my life. I'm 33 years old. This is my first child, and this is a major thing. So I need to be really paying attention to how I'm experiencing it and how much I'm going into the dark side of shame and blame and victimhood, and how much love there is. And there was way more love than there was shame and blame. People wanted us to shame and blame. They really encouraged that, and we just refused to
Yeah,
do
people
that.
love their drama.
They wanted me to blame the midwives that were working with me. And yeah, sure, I could have gone down that road and I could have sued them and all that, but they had never lost a baby and they had delivered hundreds and hundreds of babies. So there was something different. And it was interesting because one of them that was working with me said, if this was going to happen with anyone, it would have happened with you because you understand what the ramifications are. And, as much as we can. And it was looking at the big picture of like, well, how is this really true? What's really true about this? I had a perfect pregnancy. Labor didn't set up right. I was at home. We went to the hospital. He was already gone. Like everything happened the way it happened. So there's no blame and shame about that because what's the point of doing that? Let's look for the love in here. Let's look for what's the joyful part in here. I had a baby. I had one friend that brought a balloon to his memorial that said, it's a boy. So somebody was acknowledging that I had a baby boy. And that was really important to me. So when we don't acknowledge the person that's passed or the situation of loss, when we don't acknowledge that, that's when we can get into trouble. And that's when things dive into the subconscious and start running our body. And that's what we want to avoid.
Right. And I mean, yeah, it's powerful. I mean, that's not just like an event that happened in your life. This is
Right.
this is a life-changing, life-shifting event.
Yeah.
And it's in some way, shape, or form, I think pretty much everybody has something like that sometime somewhere in their life. It could be a friend passing away, it could be a parent. For some people,
It doesn't
losing a
even have
pet.
to be, yeah, it doesn't have to be a loss of a person. It could be loss of
Right.
innocence, which happened to me at age 11. It could be traumatic abuse. It could be any of those things that help you, that like force you to lose your innocence or force you to lose your security. Those things happen too. So it's not just loss of a person in your life. What if you moved from your best friend when you were 10 and you never saw her again? What happens to that feeling of loss? It can work on us for years and years. I've cleared people in their 80s of something that happened when they were 5. And they
Wow.
and they go, "Wow, that feels so much better. I feel so much lighter." And it's not that we're not denying that the thing happened. We're just placing it in the past. Because let me explain how that works. When you have a shock or a trauma happen to you, um, your body memorizes it, just like it memorizes what a lemon tastes like or what it's supposed to do with a lemon. So let's do a little exercise right here. I'll show you how this works. I want you to, everybody that's watching this, I want you to just close your eyes right now and imagine a beautiful wedge of lemon sitting in front of you. And it's like juice is running off the lemon, and you pick it up. You can feel the oil from the skin on your fingers, and you take that chunk of lemon and you put it in your mouth and bite down. Now, do you have more saliva in your mouth?
Yes.
You don't have a lemon in front of you. It's the memory of the lemon. And if we check the pH of your saliva,
I could
it would
smell it
be,
too.
yeah, it would be more alkaline saliva to counteract the acid of the lemon. This is how quickly your body works. So when you have something like that happen with intense emotion, or it happens over and over again, the
Mhm.
body memorizes it, and it does that subconscious emotional memory and does the physiology for those emotions without you actually feeling the emotion because it's been memorized. So that's what we call a trigger. So let's say you get hit by a red car when you're on your bike. You don't really get hurt, but it just like touches you and you fall over on your bike. Oh, it's terrible! You got hit by a car, red car. Now every time you see a red car, your body goes into fight or flight response. Every time. Now it becomes so used to doing that you don't even notice it's going into fight or flight response. And when you're in fight or flight response, your immune system shuts down, your digestion shuts off. You don't need that information, all that blood supply going to your innards when you need to run or fight.
Mhm.
So the blood shunts to the periphery of your body, your large muscle groups. You're not going to digest. So if you have digestion problems, what was the thing that triggered that?
Mm.
People don't go after the root cause. They want to deal with the symptom. Give me something, give me some Prilosec. They don't want to actually deal with what's causing the problem. If your digestion is shut off and you're eating, are you going to be able to digest very well? No, you're not. So all of these problems happen because your body is doing something from the past, but it thinks it's supposed to do it right now. So
Mm.
there's two phases that your body's in. It's either in fight or flight or freeze, or it's in rest, digest, and heal. Can't do both. So I want to give people that are watching this a really simple way for them to fix that. But I want to tell you first that I went on to have another child. He's almost 30. He's 6'6". He's gorgeous, beautiful guy, and he is a musician, and he does construction work, and he writes poetry and plays every instrument, and he's an awesome person. So I don't want you to leave you with the dead baby stuff, okay? Things move forward. The two little girls are grown up and have children of their own and are awesome people. And I just want to say, it's you have to slog through some of this stuff. Teenage daughters, okay? That's the code word for people who have them. Um, you have to go through this stuff to get to the other side where you can talk about it. But it's so amazing to have that happen and know that you know things do get better, and they
Mm.
will get better. So is it okay if I share this little trick that you can do? It's called
Sure.
it's called 4 count breathing. So what you're going to do is you're going to empty all your air out. Don't do it yet. And then you're going to inhale for 4 counts, hold it in for 4 counts, exhale through your nose for 4 counts, and hold it out for 4 counts. So we're going to do that twice around. So before we start, I want you to just put in the comments wherever you're watching this what number of stress you're at right now. 0 to 10. 0 is no stress at all. 10 would be the worst stress you've ever had. Just put that in the comments of where you're watching this, and maybe you can take a look, Regina, and
I
see if
I can't see all of the comments because we're on a couple different
yeah, but
platforms, so
if you're watching this later in a replay, that's fine too. Just put it in there because you want to gauge where you're at.
yep.
Okay, empty all your air out and breathe in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe normally. What's your stress level now? Put that in the comments.
That definitely helps. It does help.
It's very quick. And actually, when I teach people to meditate, that's what I teach them to do first. Let's start with 4 count breathing. Settle you down. Put your attention on the thing that's giving you life, your breath. You can live without food for a while. You can live without water for a while, but 4 minutes without breathing. So let's put attention on what keeps you alive. And I was just working with my dad, and he's in the VA hospital right now. He's having some cardiac issues, and he wasn't getting a lot of O2. So we were doing breathing, intentional breathing, and he got his O2 up about 6% higher when he was doing that. So really important. You can do that.
Right. So our audience here is a lot of business people, and I really was excited to have you on because we talk a lot of business stuff. We talk about AI, we talk about your marketing, we talk about your business strategy and all kind of great stuff. We don't necessarily always address the elephant in the room, which is you and what's going on with you. Because if you've got this stuff going on in the background or this stuff in your subconscious where you're constantly going, oh yeah, this triggers me or something like that. Like you said, that stuff is triggers. Then that actually can be holding you back from being as successful as you want to be because you're basically stopping yourself because you aren't addressing that elephant in the room.
That self-sabotage is so prevalent with people. Procrastination and self-sabotage. What happens is we want to do the thing, but there's something in our past, and maybe it's way back generations, where it was dangerous. Some danger happened. Something didn't go right. So actually, I'm doing a workshop this weekend. It's a live in-person workshop. Come to Coralville, Iowa. It's so fun. We're doing the true forgiveness workshop. And when we're doing forgiveness, we're forgiving ourselves. We're forgiving source. We're forgiving the people around us. It doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means that we are detaching our emotional self from the situation, because every time you think about it, then you start to get kind of angry and upset or sad. And that means that you're still attached to it.
Back a couple of years ago, I did Dr. Joe Vitale's Ho'oponopono program, certification program that he did. So talking about forgiveness there. But go on.
When you're holding on to that stuff, it keeps people away from you.
Yes.
So they don't want to be with you. They don't want to work with you because
that energy, right?
Yeah. It's sort of like you're in a pool and you want to get that pool noodle, but every time you reach for it, it goes further away. So
great analogy.
Well, it happens. So it's that thing. So when I was laying there in the hospital bed, I said, God, just put me where I need to be for healing. I don't care where it is. Put me where I need to be. And later that summer, we were at the Mississippi Valley Blues Festival, which happens in Iowa on the Mississippi River. A lot of people don't realize that the Mississippi River is the right border of Iowa. So we're sitting there, and I went to the tent stage because there was somebody I wanted to see there, and my husband went to the main stage. And the tent stage was the Blind Boys of Alabama, and I really wanted to see them. And I had amazing healing in their performance. I just felt waves and waves of love flowing through me, over me, around me. Right, I was just enveloped in it, and I came out of there different than I went in. Okay, fast forward 25 years. My mentor in blues singing, Miss Gloria Hardiman, Alligator Records recording artist, she is best friends with the last original blind boy of Alabama. And she told him my story about the healing that I had. And he said, I want to meet her. So I went and had dinner with them before their performance. Fast forward another year, I'm in the tent with my band, the Tanya English band, delivering Healing with the Blues to the people there. And they're shouting and crying and clapping. And it was amazing, an amazing experience. And they invited me back for another one later. So
Wow.
these things happen. Remember, life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. So sometimes this full circle moment, it takes 25 or 30 years for it to come around.
But like you said, you need to be receptive. You need to be aware of what's going around.
Putting yourself in the way of.
Yeah, if you choose to sit in your drama and play victim, you're missing out because you're not seeing what's right in front of you that is actually going to make it so much better, right?
Exactly. I think it was Jesus that said to watch out, and I don't have the specific words, to watch out when you're offended, because you need to watch out what your reaction is if something's offending you. So can you imagine how offended you can feel when your baby dies? Pretty offensive, yeah. But what's my reaction to it? Get curious about it. I want to understand this on a deeper level. I want to have the lessons that I'm supposed to be learning from this. If you believe that you're responsible for everything that happens in your life, and that doesn't mean you cause it, it means you have to be able to respond to it. So if I believe I'm responsible for everything, what's my response going to be to this happening? Am I going to be sad? Of course I'm going to be sad. Am I going to be, feeling like a victim sometimes? Sure. Am I going to be doing what ifs? Oh, what if Ed dies now? What if nobody shows up? What if this happens? What if that? Am I going to do that? Yeah, I might do that for a while. But ultimately, what I want to find, and I say this, and I ask Source or God, however you want to put that, show me what I need to know about this. And this has been going on for now 32 years. Was it 94? So yeah, 30 years. It's been going on.
So all of this healing that you've done, all of this self-healing through all this process has led you to where you are today, not just with your singing in the band, but with your business as well. Do you think your business would be the same business had that event not happened?
Oh gosh, no. I was always interested in what the emotional part of our being is, because that's how we experience the world. Yeah. And every other type of healing kind of leaves that out a lot of the time. Western medicine completely leaves it out. You don't have feelings. You're just a thing. And so we know that we're not. That's why my nickname is the Soul Chiropractor. We're working on what makes you who you are, a human being, not a human doing, a human being, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it makes a difference. People say, oh, you seem so busy. Like that's a really good thing. Is it though? Is busyness good? Not if it's empty, and not just being busy for busyness sake. What's important is that we have some kind of through line to what's joyful in our life. So when we were in this mourning period for about 2 weeks after this happened, because I took a couple weeks off, thank you.
Of course.
We're watching TV, just hanging around. And this commercial comes on that says, there's nothing worse than a yeast infection. And we rolled on the floor laughing because we thought we had it bad. But oh no, there's nothing worse than that. So, finding where the funny is, because we're both happy, joyful people, is really important. Gallows humor is pretty important when you're going through it. And so to have somebody tell us that there was nothing worse than a yeast infection was
like, really?
Really? I got something that might beat that, But we have to give ourselves that grace of being able to laugh again. It's tiring being sad all the time. It's exhausting. Everybody wants to cry with you. I can't really cry with you today. And people, asking, how's the baby? And I don't want to go into it. So I say, oh, he's fine. He's doing great. He was, as far as I know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so the way you went about it is like amazing.
It's a little different. And I'm kind of, collapsing this into a little tiny time period that we have here. So it was time, there's lots of time. But I want you to understand that it's also a time when you're in grief, it's a time to open yourself up to the healing that's there. We were just talking about this. When I work with a pregnant woman, she's in this metamorphosis stage. Everything's moving around in the body. We can heal stuff that's old from before the pregnancy. Like if she had a hip problem or sciatica or something, we can heal that because she's in this changing state. It's the same thing in grief. You're in this changing state where things have changed suddenly. Sometimes it's really sudden and you're in shock. So we need to do some 4 count breathing and clear the fight or flight response. And then we can go into what else is going on here, because we can heal the old stuff from the past during this time. Grief is a doorway to deeper healing, and I actually have a class called that you can take. It's on my website. And what's great about that is that if you see these openings as an opportunity instead of a punishment, because you're not being punished. You're not being punished. I know people want to believe that they're being punished for something they did. It's just not true. You know why? Because it's all about forgiveness. You're always forgiven. Over and over and over and over, you're forgiven. And it's not 490 times. It's 1,000. It's 1,000,000 times. It's 1,000,000,000 times. Forgiveness is there for you. You don't have to beat yourself up about something that you did or didn't do. You just have to walk in forgiveness and forgive the person who does it, or forgive yourself, forgive source. It's all there for you, but your emotions are running you. Your emotions run your physiology. If you've never heard that before, I'm going to say it again. Your emotions run your physiology, and they become subconscious with intense emotion or with chronicity, something happening over and over again. So these emotions that are running your physiology, negative emotions running your physiology, you need to acknowledge, own, and honor them. And that's when we are doing the work together, where we acknowledge, own, and honor our feelings, and then we're released. We're free. You don't have
I
to
love
keep
that.
having it. It's
I love
really
it.
fun. It's
Yeah.
so fun to watch people go through that.
We are quickly running out of time here. Which we could talk about this for quite some time, and it's some of it's so fascinating to me that of how things work. When I started doing and when I started getting into quantum physics and stuff like that, and started looking more into what is energy and what is how does this energy stuff work, and
Mhm.
and it's amazing what you all of a sudden start to notice that you didn't notice before. So it's fascinating to me. Now you had something that the 7 lessons here. Tell us about your 7 lessons.
This is a really neat little thing that I came up with. And it's the 7 lessons I learned through that greatest heartbreak of having my baby stillborn. And those 7 lessons are really simple, and you can grab it right here in this link. And what happens when you go through that is you could see yourself in there and see, oh, here's where I did this, but I didn't do that. And start to change your orientation. We talk about reframing things. So you're looking at things from a different perspective. And the first thing is to look at the big picture. Remember the love. The love is what remains. The
Mhm.
person may go away, but the love remains, and that means they're there. They're with you.
Right.
So I talked to my mother, even though she's not physically present on Earth, as far as I know. And she's actually in the sand on the beach where we grew up. And, I talked to her because I can feel her presence with me at times. And we all have those moments when we feel the person with us. And it's okay. You're allowed to have that. You don't have to discount it because it's weird or out of people's normal realm. There's a lot of things you can't see in the world
Mm.
that are there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. So
And
here's your website as well. So that's a freebie that Dr. Tanya has here that you can download, and all these links will be right underneath all 3 platforms that we're on here, because we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. So on all 3 platforms, I will make sure all of these links are there.
Mhm.
This is your website, which is
Yeah.
quantumhealinginternational.com.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing there's a bunch of cool stuff they could find out there too?
Oh yeah, there's a learning page, there's a programs page where we have all different kinds of stuff that you can take advantage of. The classes are on the programs page. There's also a voice of the field scan page so you can learn about what scanning your voice shows you and how that works. There's all kinds of things that you can do. And if you go to healingwiththeblues.com, Healing with the Blues Facebook group is my Facebook group for healing, but there's also a website, healingwiththeblues.com. That's where our band information is. And this story that I just told is there too. So
Well,
you can.
yeah, we'll make sure that Facebook group is out there. So Healing with the Blues. So
Yeah.
before we went live, you made a comment and I was like, yeah.
I said, okay, healing with the blues. That's right, I'm healing with the blues. I've got nothing left to lose. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Such a pain inside. The love that's there for me, I have denied. I've never had the blues this long, this deep, this wide. And so I'm healing with the blues.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. That is a great way to end our chat today. Thank you so much for being here. This has been
You're
such a
welcome.
great conversation.
Thanks so much, Regina. I'm really appreciative that you do this work. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I am so happy to have you on today. And what a way to end. I mean, I've got nothing else. It was like that was a perfect way to end our Coffee with Regina. So we will see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.